I am making a late summer tart or quiche or whatever you want to call it. And I am just chopping up some courgettes I've still got coming out of my friend's garden, and also, which are just delicious actually still. And I'm also chopping up some tomato as well, which are still on the vine in her greenhouse, which is amazing. And then I am just adding this all together. What I've done is I've slowly cooked up some leeks and some onions, and I just added a few frozen peas. And so this is the whole kind of lovely mixed vegetableness, which is going to make up this gorgeous quiche tart, whatever you want to call it. Now there's a lot of variety in there, and that's really good. It's teeming with that polyphenol variety. Polyphenols being the active bioactives, the plant chemicals found naturally in every plant food. So salt, pepper, remember there's a bit of garlic in there already. And that's great. And that's my vegetable base. But what am I going to do to make it kind of like into a sort of a quiche? And this is where the fun starts. So this is my favorite kind of quiche type mixture because it's so healthy and good for you. And you'll see. So here we are. I'm using 1 egg for every cup of yogurt that I use. In fact, I'm only using 1 cup of yogurt in this today because I don't want a whole load of kind of this quiche mixture. There we go. So that, believe it or not, with 1 egg to 1 cup of yogurt will actually firm up sufficiency. Not so it's rock hard at all, but it will firm up. So it's just this soft, unctuous, lovely, kind of almost like a soft cheese texture. And I've got some fresh dill left over, so I'm putting fresh dill in. You could use fresh basil if you've got any knocking around still. You could use any fresh herb, to be honest. But I'm using fresh dill, or if you don't have any fresh herbs around, you could just so easily use dried oregano. That works beautifully in here. So I've made up the pastry, and I made it up using the recipe from my Rhubarb and Strawberry Tart. So if you have a look on my YouTube channel, you'll find this pastry and also how to make it. And so this is what I'm using. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to take this mixture and I'm going to dollop it in the center here. Okay. Now you could do this actually in a flan or a tart tin if you're a bit nervous. I'm making a freeform one, which is actually why I don't have a lot of this mixture. But you could make it into a tart case or anything like that and do double the mixture if you wanted to, easily. So I'm going to add some salt and pepper on top. And then I'm going to just pile these late summer veggies on top. Which are actually smelling gorgeous. I think when you softly cook leeks and garlic together, they're just divine. They're just a match made in heaven. Now, you don't even have to pre-cook these courgettes because courgettes soften off really fast in a hot oven. I'm just going to pile this on top. There we go. Beautiful. Just get all those scraps there. Okay, lovely, lovely. And I'm going to dot it with a bit of goat's cheese. Just put a bit of goat's cheese around, which will actually melt into it, into these vegetables. And the top of the goat's cheese, I'm hoping, will go a little bit crispy and brown when it's cooked. So I'll dot more of this around. But let me show you what I do with the edges of this tart. Is I just simply fold it over, like that. Just fold it over and even crimp it a little bit if you want. It's a freeform tart, so that's why it's not like a pretty round shape. If you want a pretty round shape, pop it into a tart dish. Not a problem. I've made this pastry with buckwheat and oat flour and added a bit of salt to it. And by doing that, then the actual pastry becomes healthy because they're 2 really great whole grains for your gut health. So the pastry's healthy. And what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to put a little bit of egg on the outside of the pastry. This is purely for aesthetics. It makes the pastry look more golden on the outside, and I like that. Just going to do that. Pop a bit, and then I'm going to stick it in the oven, in a hot oven at 200 degrees centigrade. and I'm going to cook it until the pastry is lovely and crispy. And that's usually about 30 minutes. Just depends on your oven and your temperature. Amazing.